First off, it's our, we wanted to celebrate Black History, so hence the attire. I don't want that moment to be forgotten. It's like, it's an everyday thing, and so we're certainly glad we can amplify it today. Another great college basketball game for the people who are fans of women's basketball. You know, these guys, we locked in on Tuesday and we're very clear with how we wanted to play, and I'm so proud of them. They played exactly how we wanted to play on both ends. We had, what, 5 guys in double figures, and one of them wasn't Deja Kelly. But we knew that they were going to really shade to her, so we wanted her to sort of get to logos and find her teammates in windows. And she had 8 assists tonight, which, you know, and 7 rebounds. So just a huge night. Be remiss not to celebrate Z. You know, I met with her on Tuesday and just knew we were going to need her tonight. You know, it's a kid you can always count on, and a lot of I think the things that she does stays ready, and it's a little sometimes in a shadow. Not for us. You know, our team knows we can count on her. Deja and Lexi and Alyssa and everybody, Anya, they love playing with her, and so she deserved that moment. And it wasn't just because she made threes. I mean, she played really impactful 22 minutes. I don't know if I'll have to look at the numbers, but I don't know if River scored on her, River Baldwin. I know she was a really good 1v1 matchup with her too. So huge. And then this guy, man, I don't think I took her out. I did. I gave you a little bit of a rest tonight. You're welcome.
Thank you.
But for what this team has had to go through from an adversity standpoint, they're starting to find their footing another time, right? Because they keep getting some, you know, in and out of the roster. So just really proud of them. Really happy that Carmichael showed out today, as we've come to expect. The students were awesome, and just a great college basketball game.
Z, when Coach puts you in the first quarter, the team is down 7. She puts you and India in, and the game kind of flips, especially after you hit 2 threes. I think you closed the quarter on a 13-5 run. Just what are you thinking? How are you approaching that moment? And then how good did it feel to kind of be a part of that?
Yeah, no, like Coach said, it's my job to stay ready, and I take that job very seriously every day. But without my team, I'm telling you, I can't even count the amount of times Lexi saying it, Anya saying it, like, Z, you better shoot. It's almost like they're threatening me. It's like a you better shoot or else. But I'm telling you, like, just that mindset of, like, my girls have my back is like, I don't know, I feel like I can fly at that moment. And so I let the ball fly, and it went in, and Lexi, every single time, she's like, you better keep shooting, you know. So I feel like, I don't know, the momentum of Carmichael, like, that's the Carolina experience. And to go out there and just feel the momentum shift, I feel like we all, each 1 through 5, we all felt it. And we just kept on going. We just kept maximizing in offense and defense. So I was lucky the threes went in.
Well, you work at it.
I do.
Coach, you mentioned having a conversation with Z before this game. What did that conversation kind of look like, and what were you hoping to see from her tonight?
Yeah, I just told her, you know, we need you, right? And I need you to be able to, I don't know who exactly you're going to be playing with. So sometimes you're going to be a low block player, sometimes you're going to be a perimeter popper, sometimes you're going to be, the playbook is really open when she's in. She knows all of our stuff. She's got a very high basketball IQ. So I told her that. I told her defensively, you know what you're doing, so just make sure you wall up. But it was basically from an offensive standpoint, where we were going to need her at certain spots. She knows I trust her to shoot it. She knows I trust her to play. But I just wanted to make sure that she understood that this was a game that we need her to do certain things, and we're going to pick on that in certain ways. And she just did it absolutely to a T.
Yeah, and Z, what did your preparation look like going into today?
Yeah, so honestly, nothing changed in the sense of every day getting my reps. Coach is always saying live reps, it's on the move, you know, and I think a lot of the things is like conditioning outside, you know, it could be 0 minutes to 20 minutes, but regardless, I have to be ready for that. But again, coaches set that standard, and it's my job to meet it, and we have conversations like that, and even when we don't, I'm still doing the same things. And so I think just, it sounds cliche, but staying ready in every way possible, whether it's during practice, outside of practice, in the court, during the game, or outside of the game.
Well, sometimes she also does extra conditioning, you know, if she doesn't get certain minutes. So she also could play 18 minutes against a top 10 team and was fine. She didn't have to come out because she was tired.
How important were India's minutes off the bench, allowing Alyssa to move up to the 4, get more minutes there than she did the other night?
Huge. You know, India staying out of foul trouble, taking better care of the ball. You know, she was really good tonight. We talked about whoever's in the game needs to give a positive contribution when they come off the bench. So we kind of challenged the bench, and Aziz is on that bench. We challenged her with that when you come in the game, I need a positive contribution. These guys are need to be able to go out and get a rest, and she was huge. Took care of it, rebounded the ball well. You know, I know she's a crowd favorite. So.
And then Sunday night, 2 huge problems was perimeter shooting and turnovers, and you flipped both of those.
Yeah.
How were you able to do that? Did you talk about that after the game?
Well, it's the third straight game we've shot over 50% from the field. You know, our shooting has been much better. Ball's moving better. It's that we turned it over 24 times. So I didn't have to talk about it. We just showed them. We just one by one just showed it to them. Get a little careless with the ball, which was uncharacteristic. We don't really turn it over much, and so we knew that we had to take care of the turnovers. I'm really proud of them that they did, and then obviously continue to shoot the ball well because they're getting resettled again with with having Renai out for a little bit of time. It's like now we're resettling again. So they're finding their new way.
Lexi, you guys have had a tough stretch there, losses in a row, you're getting your way back. How much did you guys just need this? How much belief does this kind of reinstill in the team going into the most important part of the year?
Yeah, I think it just really proves our toughness. Like, we play for each other, and we have a lot of fun playing out there. So, obviously, it feels good to get wins like these ones, but no matter what night it is, we're always going to come out and fight together.
And Courtney, do you feel kind of the same way, that this was a kind of win at the perfect time to kind of recharge things for you down the stretch?
Any win in the ACC is a great win. Any top 10 win, we knew this is a top 10 win. That was one that we wanted. That was key. I felt like we've been. If you look at the losses, they were all right there, right? And so, of course, you want to flip that switch. But it's a group that is, as much as they've gone through, this is a resilient group, and so I'm happy for them. It's not so much proud because I see it every day and how they approach Tuesday. We watched a lot of film. It was more just I'm really happy for them that they, got the W. They played as hard, I thought, at NC State. We just didn't make as many plays and didn't get as many stops, right? So I'm really happy that they were finally able to put one in the win column.
Lexi and Z, can y'all kind of talk about what practice was like this week, and was there ever a specific moment that kind of propelled the offensive effort tonight?
Yeah, I thought our intensity was really solid all week, but again, we're in such a load management point that a lot of it is mental, and we were really just able to lock into film, lock into the load that we do get during practice, and just going as hard as we can and pushing each other that the minutes that we get to go live need to be full, and we need to get us prepared for this game, and I think we did just that.
Z, you can answer that question too.
Yeah, no, and we kind of said that we have to play the way that we practice, because sometimes we have really great practices, but we don't carry that over. And again, you guys don't see that, we do, and so there's a bit of frustration behind that. But Coach made an emphasis in the sense of we are going to. It wasn't a question, it was a statement that we are going to play how we practice, and I think we literally did exactly that. What you guys saw tonight, we've been doing for 2 days, and so we were just really happy to be able to carry that over.
Yeah, our guys did a good job preparing.
Oh, our guys, we would not be here. It would be the same without our guys. Our boys they're like our brothers, and every single day they show up the same way we do.
I mean, obviously, man, you made the 3-pointers, but it just seemed like they were uncontested. How were you getting it to where you got that shot and there was lack of contesting defender?
Well, we put him in tough situations because if you switch that, then we can slide to the rim. In her case, centers don't like to come out, right? And so there's not a lot of centers in our league that shoot threes, right? And so hers are sort of speak for themselves. But Lexi's hard to hide. She's doing a better job being more shot ready. She's realizing that her window is just really small. Maybe in the Big 12 you had more space. I don't know, but she's starting to get her shot off quicker. We've added a few actions that allow her to kind of, if you're gonna obsess on Lexi, someone else is going to be open. So we've had to kind of get you better looks based on kind of how they're playing her.
Yeah. And Coach, you talked about against Wake Forest, or this is a question for Lexi, but Coach talked about y'all only shot 8 threes, and they struggled to find you specifically in the Wake Forest game. What have these 2 days looked like to kind of make sure that you got the ball in that successful?
Yeah, I mean, just really sticking to our principles offensively, moving the ball, getting out in transition. I feel like that was a big difference, that we were able to find people, pass the ball ahead, really move the ball in transition. That's where we got a lot of our looks. So just a combination of those things.
Right here at WUNC.
Coach, you said the crowd really showed up today. How do you feel, why do you think now is the moment that women's basketball is really getting the love that it's always deserved?
The product is so good. The product is, that's all I do, so it's a bit biased here, but watching these guys compete is just fun. Like the things that these guys can do now with their skill set and their strength and their speed and their basketball IQ and savviness, it's so great. They're creative. So I think the quality is so good. And then because people come one time, and then Carmichael is so fun. The student body are like, they're my besties and they don't know it, but they come out, and then it means a lot. I keep getting, Dana sent me a video of all the line that was out there. My sister's trying to get in, and she's like, Court, there's a line out here. I'm an hour early, so it's the product, and then, Carolina's it loves basketball. It's a special place.
Could all three of you talk about the emotions of the earlier state game, the Virginia Tech game, the Duke game that you could very easily have won at the end of regulation, and tonight making sure that it didn't come down to one play or two plays?
Well, I don't think we very easily could have won. I think that's the issue, is that these are games that are just, you have to make less mistakes and you have to make more plays, right? And so, you know, I felt like they did a really good job with their foot on the gas. Like, we just put our foot on the gas. And so we didn't give them much breath. Got some key stops. They went on that 6-0 run on the offensive glass, and our guys just kind of stuck with just putting their feet on the gas, right? And then we were able to execute some of our looks. Again, I think that our pace is better in that way. And these guys have been, they sit with it a little bit, you know, they sit with it. But, you know, these possession games, this wasn't really a possession game, but the possession games can go either way, you know. So, you know, it's good when you were able to take a run and stop it and then make our own.
Do either one of you guys want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I entirely agree with what she was saying. Just working on stacking stops and stacking scores to the best of our ability. I mean, it says our biggest lead was, best scoring run. Dang it, I read that wrong.
That's okay.
But
I read spreadsheets for.
yeah, no, it just really being able to stack stops is one of the biggest things we needed, because they can go on runs really fast and they're a really fast team in transition. So finding a way to slow the ball and try to keep them out of the paint in transition was a big focus.
I think just to add to what Lexi said before, the certain toughness it takes to even be in the ACC, but to win in the ACC is like insane. And I think our poise plus our toughness tonight was the reason that we were able to.
But you guys leaned into. We talked about leaning in on the floor.
Yeah.
That I don't get as many timeouts. It's not football where I get to pick every play, right? So I told them inside the game, inside the lines, there are elements of the game that they know the game plan. It's very clear, right? And so then it's just you five have to lean in those moments. So they're doing that more. I think it's helping them.
Mitch, for the last question.
Coach, this was fun tonight. It was packed. You know, all these State Carolina games are really fun. They're really emotional. You're not going to play this game twice next year. The ACC is getting bigger. The schedule is changing. Is that bittersweet?
You know, I think when you're trading a second NC State and getting a SMU or a Cal or a Stanford, not necessarily, right? Because we get to play NC State twice, but other teams don't, right? And so if you look at the strength of the pod that we're in, the path to an ACC championship is really hard, because you play, I mean, we got Virginia Tech next, right? So I like that it's going to be much more balanced for everybody. So it's not going to be, well, thank God I'm in this pod. I know it probably, I haven't been around long enough. It probably has times where the northern pod is way better. I don't know. But I think ultimately the true champion will be a little bit more kind of determined by just the balance of the schedule. So